Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our Friday night live show where we go live and we, as in me and my team of carnivores, and you will get to meet them very soon, and we answer your questions. Now, today's theme is all about beginner carnivore. I really wanted today to really cater to my new members, to my new viewers, to everybody who is maybe a little bit newer to this carnivore diet and carnivore lifestyle. I am seeing a lot of you say hi in the chat box. I love seeing your messages. I love interacting with you guys during these live streams. We've got Nancy from Florida. We've got Kim from Colorado. I'm going to start off with giving my best beginner carnivore tips, but please let me know where you are located in the live chat. If you're watching this later, comment it down below. I'd love to know where you're located. Okay, so because the theme of today is my best carnivore tips for beginners, I'm going to start off with telling you guys I was vegan for 6 years. I was vegan for 6 years before I went carnivore. And I'm a very special case because I went carnivore overnight, vegan to carnivore overnight. Do I recommend that? Absolutely not. And that's going to be my very first tip to start off this live stream with. I actually do not recommend going carnivore from any diet overnight. Why? Because you'll get diarrhea. You'll get loose stools, maybe even explosive diarrhea for a long time. Why would you shock your body like that when you can do a slow transition, a slow weaning off of all of the carbs and the vegetables and the fruits, and slowly acclimate your body to a high-fat carnivore diet of only protein and fats? So that's what I highly recommend is if you guys have not started a carnivore diet just yet, I know the excitement that you feel when you watch all of these amazing testimonials. I get it. That's what I felt when I was still vegan and I was watching Kelly Hogan and Dr. Wiedemann tell their stories. I was so excited. I couldn't wait. So I jumped in. Well, guess what? I had diarrhea for 2 months. Okay. And I was in college, was not the best time to have diarrhea every day. Highly recommend doing a slow transition. I want to know who here is a new carnivore. New carnivores, comment, let me know how long you've been carnivore. Second tip, let's move fast because I want to give you guys 25 tips today. Second tip is eat solid fat. This changed my life, being a new carnivore after being vegan for 6 years. What do I mean by eating solid cold fats? A cold stick of butter, perfect. Melted fat after cooking ground beef, bad. Okay. Not all melted fats are bad because I know a lot of carnivores who can tolerate tons of melted rendered fats. But for new carnivores specifically, it will also send you running to the toilet with loose stools, diarrhea, heartburn, nausea, indigestion, all of that. I sound like a broken record because I see it over and over and over again. So for my beginners, this video is for you. My third tip, I really recommend leaning on seafood. What I see a lot in the new carnivore community, where, for example, in my community, the Steak and Butter Gang, we have new carnivores coming in every single day, every single hour. And the top complaint is, Bella, I am so sick and tired of ground beef and steaks and eggs every day. Personally, I would never complain. That would never be a complaint coming out of my mouth. But most of you guys are coming from a standard American diet with tons of variety. So if you're getting sick and tired of ground beef, eggs, and butter, right? Seafood brings so much relief. It is amazing. Sashimi, you can get at any Korean market like H Mart, and you can do salmon, you can do shrimp. Okay, so those are my top 3 tips for now. I'll give way more throughout this live stream. Just stay on, but I want to bring on my friend, Todd. Introduce yourself first.
Howdy, howdy. Yeah, I'm Todd Bockness, host of the Carnivore Cure, 31 months carnivore, and lost 335 pounds so far. And yeah, I think my number one carnivore tip, I think, would be eat through the cravings and eat through the, the food addiction, right? Because
Totally.
most of us, this is coming from a weight loss perspective and having a bunch of weight to lose, but most of us that have been yo-yo dieting are dealing with carb addiction because our food in the supermarkets is not food, it's a drug that they're using to keep us addicted and keep us coming back to their product to make money. And the biggest game changer that I believe is the biggest power that carnivore can give you is freedom from addictive eating disorders. And that's because you don't have to diet and restrict. You can actually eat through the cravings until you're free and nourish your body, and that'll let you go. And that's why it's so sustainable long term. Where nothing else I found. I was 600 pounds when I was 14 years old, and I've been trying every yo-yo diet for 26 years, and the only one that freed me from the noise and the eating addiction was carnivore, because you eat red meat and fat through the cravings, and it will absolutely free you from that, for sure.
I love that so much. Can I add one? Because you and I are going to host a Montana meetup in a month now, July 4th. Sure. I highly recommend for beginner carnivores, you go to these carnivore meetups, and I'm talking about the in-person meetups, because there's nothing more powerful than getting to obviously make friends with real carnivores, but also hear these real testimonials in real life. When I first went to my first carnivore meetup, this is 5 years ago, Dr. Wiedemann's, the carnivore doctor, New Jersey, I was able to meet her in person, Kelly Hogan in person, a lot of community members, and it gave me the confirmation that I needed to know that, okay, a carnivore diet long-term for years and years and years is totally safe. And don't you think most people are hesitant to go carnivore because they think it's dangerous for our health? There's a lot of skepticism still, right?
Sure. For sure. Well, there's a lot of propaganda that's been put in place on purpose to keep us misled, and that's the biggest thing about being in a community, that you can get through the fear mongering that happens, and you can feel very comfortable in that community, because once you're around, especially in person, carnivores, and see what people look like, sound like, act like, feel like when they're not sick, and when they're not inflamed, and when they're not, when they're actually functioning on a proper human diet. And I mean, you walk away and you go, oh, this has all been propaganda. There's nothing sick about these people. They're full of life and energy, and you can see it in their eyes. They call it the carnivore glow. You can see these people, yeah, absolutely healing and happy, and they have their energy back, and they're not suffering with anxiety and depression. I mean, it's incredible to see that up front.
It is. So come join us, see the carnivore glow in person. Everybody has it. Okay. So let's put up this website real quick. We have Dr. Wiedemann coming. She is the carnivore meetup queen herself. So for her to come to mine, it's truly full circle. I'm so honored. It is in Bozeman. Okay. Bozeman, Montana. I saw some comments when I posted yesterday. Where is the location? It is Bozeman, Montana, Todd's hometown, July 4th to July 5th. That's this year. SBG.events. It's also linked down below in the description. Now, what should most people be excited about this specific event? Like, what's going to be special?
Well, the biggest thing is we are concentrating on on Saturday, there is a little bit of a Q&A and a presentation, but we're mainly making this a social event and a meet and greet, because a lot of these speaking, events are just about, just the particulars and more information, which is great, but you can get that on YouTube. You can get that right here every Friday night. You can get that. But what you can't get is, community and hanging out with everybody, and just, having a good time and just getting to know everybody and kind of fellowshipping with everybody. And so that's what we're going to be doing on this one. Plus, you're going to do it in Big Sky Country. And if you haven't been to Montana, it's beautiful. And it's the weather. The summers are awesome. That's what I love about this one. Being in the summer, you're going to be somewhere from comfortable to cold. Even, you won't be hot. And we are going to be celebrating Independence Day with an awesome fireworks show, barbecue, and just hanging out and bringing in, celebrating the holiday and our Independence Day with all the carnivores. It's going to be awesome. And also, when you come to Montana, seeing as how you're already coming, you're only 80 miles from the Yellowstone National Park. There's so much stuff to do here. It's a great time to combo it up and get a lot of bang for your buck. So.
Yeah, make it a family trip, make it a trip with your friends. I'm excited about the fireworks. This is perfect for families and kids. We're going to have a lot of carnivore families coming. We're going to have Dr. Baker with his family coming. So it is the event of the year. And I'm not just saying it because I'm hosting it with Todd. I know it is, because we really want to feed you guys well as well. And we have some delicious meats being served.
Oh, yeah.
So just be excited. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah, and we're gonna give you the flavor of Montana, which is bison, elk, and Rocky Mountain oysters too. So, as well as Montana beef. So you'll enjoy it.
Does anyone know what Rocky Mountain oysters are? Please define it in the chat. I want to test you guys if you guys actually know what that is. SPG.events, okay? If you have questions about the meetup, feel free to ask during this live stream. We're happy to answer as well. Okay, let me bring on the next member of my team, Melanie. And Melanie, you're muted, but hello, introduce yourself. Welcome.
Oh, how are you doing? Good
Great.
to be here. I think some of the biggest things for me with carnivore is not under eating. Typically women, we are trained to undereat our entire life, 500 calories, 1,000 calories. So I like the way of carnivore because I get to eat and I don't have to count anything. I don't count calories. I don't count macros. I just eat till I'm full, satisfied. And I've lost 42 pounds since January of 2022. So I'm 3.5 years carnivore. We'll hit my 4th year anniversary soon. And still thriving and feeling great.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that tip. Don't undereat for sure. Now let me bring on our next member, Laura. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? I guess you can.
We can.
Yes. Don't undereat. Trust the process of what SPG is teaching you as far as priming and fasting goes, especially the priming piece, because again, as Melanie mentioned, women have been taught to undereat, and a lot of men undereat as well, believe it or not. So you need to trust the process. You need to eat nutritionally dense meat and animal fats, and you will feel amazing. Melanie and I started at the same time. We were January of 2022. We signed on with Bella's group and came through the whole priming and fasting process together. And she likes to refer to us as the SPG twins here. So anyway, it's been amazing. So 3.5 years in here as well. I feel better than I have ever felt. I feel better now, and I'm 70, than I felt when I was in my 50s. I'm stronger. I have more energy. I have less brain fog. I have no medical issues. My right knee that I thought maybe I had to have knee surgery on, guess what? It was inflammation, and that's gone away. I paddleboard, I hike, I bike, I play pickleball. You name it, I do it. So, and I do it without pain. It's a great way to live. Can't recommend anything more than carnivore.
Let me just reiterate, Laura is 70 years young. 70. Yeah. I have
should have
seen
said
her
young, not old. 70 years young.
Yeah, we're all young. Yes. But she looks younger now than when she first joined the group a couple years back. So this is the power of sticking to a carnivore lifestyle, and a high fat one for women. We can talk more about that. And Melanie, how young are you?
Oh, I'm 58, going to be 59 this month coming up. So, yeah.
And since you both are wearing sleeveless shirts, let's see those guns, please.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Just a little.
There we go.
I mean, it's so inspiring. Look at them. They're thriving. They're strong. They're happy. Oh, I love it. So I'm very grateful for this team, and we are ready to answer your questions throughout this live stream. We'll give you our best tips as we answer your carnivore questions. How do you submit your questions? Just start it with a capital Q in the chat. Type your question, but make sure there's a capital Q before the question, and we'll make sure to go in order from first to last. Todd, any special announcements before we jump into the questions?
Just come hang out with us in Montana. We'd love to see you guys. And then also, I guess, just Hack Your Health in Tampa as well.
Yeah.
We're gonna be down there as well. So yeah, that's all I know right now.
Right. November,
Definitely.
Hack Your Health. Everything is linked down below, but Montana is the one if you guys can only choose one. Okay.
For
All
sure.
right. Nancy, welcome. Yay. I'm new starting tomorrow. How exciting. I have lamb, ground beef, pork belly, chicken thighs, legs, salmon. Question, is lemon okay for this diet? What do we think, guys, for a new carnivore? Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
I feel like
Yeah.
fine.
Why
In
not?
fact, I feel like it would help, especially preparing your body for the oxalate dumping.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you want to add anything, Todd?
Oh no, I think for sure. I started this for the first 5 weeks on lemon to get off of carbonated lemon water to get off of soda addiction that I had that was terrible. And then I went back to lemon water a little bit when I was oxalate dumping to help ease the oxalate. So yeah, for sure. I think it's totally fine. I just the carnivore police come after me sometimes, but I believe that carnivore is exactly, or Jordan Peterson described it the best, that it's an animal-based elimination diet. And then if you can get your diet real clean and your system healed up, then you can test things one at a time. And it really depends on you. If you can tolerate it, if it doesn't make you crave sugar or you have any, flare ups or inflammation from it, then you can have it,
I actually think that's such an important tip that we frequently forget about because we're now so experienced with carnivore. We're now a couple years in. But I remember, Todd, when you were a new member in the gang, you frequently brought up your soda tip, your soda substitute tip. So if you could just detail how to.
Yeah, for sure. No, so my worst addiction, and I had plenty of addictions. I had a gambling addiction, I had nicotine addiction, I had sugar addiction, but my worst addiction was soda, even diet soda. I just could not seem to get off of that. That was just plaguing me. And what I ended up doing, it took a combination of BBB&E, very, beef, butter, bacon, eggs, and very strict carnivore. But to bridge off of the soda addiction, I would use carbonated water, and then I would use an electrolyte powder, and then I would use volcanic lemon juice, and then I would use the lime bubbly sparkling water, and I'd mix that together. And that was my soda. And I did that for 5.5 weeks. And that finally broke a 27, 28 year, pretty terrible soda addiction. It was worse than it was harder to quit soda than it was to quit gambling. And gambling's right up there. They say it's the second worst addiction. So.
Right. Exactly. So lean on the lemon. If that adds refreshingness, flavor to your meals, go ahead. Okay. Good luck, Nancy. Keep us posted, please. Next up, we have Lisa, who just wants to say, I'm so stoked to get started on the 90-day challenge. We are so excited to host the 90-day challenge with everyone who signs up. I'll put up this screen in a second here, and you guys can see what it looks like. So the 90-day transformation challenge, what I'm showing right now, is happening in a couple days. It is June 3rd, kickoff day, and we are doing something really special this time around, and that is a $2,000 cash prize. So we were brainstorming, how can we motivate new members and just people who are going carnivore for the first time in their lives to really stick to it and make it to that 90-day mark? Why do we keep saying 90 days? Dr. Barry says it. Dr. Baker recommends it. Dr. Chafee recommends it. Dr. Kiltz always says 90 days. Why? Because typically for most people, whether you're coming from standard American or keto, it takes 90 days, 3 full months to get fully fat adapted. 90 days of consistency. That's when the joint pain truly goes away. You see changes in your face shape. You see changes in your body composition. Your hormones start healing. Your period is normalizing if you have a menstrual cycle. So all of that, we want you to get to the 90-day mark. So it kicks off June 3rd. All details, you guys can just go to the site and read up about it. If you scroll down, you'll see everything that is included with the challenge. And the site is sbgmeetup.com, right there at the bottom of the screen. If you guys are interested, I would love to know, is anyone already signed up? Is anyone watching this already in the Steak and Butter Gang, ready to go for the 90-day challenge? Drop it in the comments. Also linked down below. Next up, we have Rachel. Let me stop the share screen. Okay, let's power through these. Rachel says, question for anyone who might know more info about cystic fibrosis, CF. Is carnivore or ketovore even a possibility for a cystic fibrosis patient? Asking for my son-in-law. Anyone here have experience with cystic fibrosis? Okay. I will comment on this. Even though I have no experience with cystic fibrosis, typically when it comes to inflammation and any like ailment that you want to heal, carnivore is better than ketovore. I feel like that applies to all things that you want to heal, whether it's chronic pain, chronic inflammation. Carnivore is going to be better because with ketovore, I believe ketovore is you can have some vegetables, some onions, some spices, what else can you have on ketovore?
Some dairy.
Some
But you
dairy.
can have
Okay,
dairy and
dairy.
carnivore too, but still dairy can be inflammation to a lot of people.
Right. You can have plants on ketovore to a degree. So plants are inflammatory. Whether or not you believe it yet, cut it out and you'll see. So we highly recommend moving your way to carnivore for something like cystic fibrosis, for chronic pain. We have Dr. Phil visiting frequently on these weekly live streams. He's not here today, but that's why joining a community, having access to doctors and experts is also very helpful. You'll get all of that in the 90-day challenge as well. So hopefully that's helpful. Carnivore is definitely better. Do we all agree on that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, the
Absolutely.
problem with
Yes.
ketovore or anything starting with keto, unless you're super strict, like, and you're really into it, you get tricked by all the keto snacks, keto sugar recipes, and keto, just keto junk food. And there's so much of it that, when you really do ketovore strict, you'll find out that you're doing carnivore with a few cruciferous vegetables. And then why do that? Because
Why?
they're terrible.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about carnivore and then some kale. And it's like, why have the kale?
Yeah.
Good way to put it. Well, the whole problem with a keto diet, maybe a ketovore diet that I have, is keto diet gives you that loophole of eating all of these processed things. So
Mhm.
people will be leaning on the keto desserts, the keto fat bombs. Well, carnivore is all about eating real foods, one ingredient foods. Yes, it's all animal foods, but it really helps you learn a new lifestyle that changes your life inside out, health inside out. Okay. Before we get to the next question, I just want to celebrate all of the people who already joined the 90-day challenge. I'm so excited that so many of you guys are in. I expect some incredible transformations. Don't let me down. Not just in body transformations, okay? Mental health, physical health. I expect all of it. How much is the challenge? It's $30 per month. So to complete the 90-day entire experience, just subscribe for 3 months in a row. So 30 times 3 is $90. All right, let's keep going. Jasmine. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Caleb, hi. I don't see a question.
Yeah, he just
Welcome.
wanted to, well, he asked later, how does he join the 30-day challenge?
Okay, let me just
Or
put it
90
up for
days.
those who just joined. Yes. Do you see the URL on the screen? Look at the bottom of us where we are pointing, sbgmeetup.com. I've also linked it clickable for you in the description. Just look for 90-day challenge. That's how. All right, Todd, what does someone do when they're feeling super nauseous as a new carnivore first week?
And honestly, in that first 6 weeks, I think if you're feeling super nauseous on carnivore, I would add in the dairy. Unless you're lactose intolerant, I would add in the dairy because that's going to open up your appetite. The milk sugars and a little bit of carbohydrates will ease you into it a little bit slower, and it'll just make you a little bit more ravenous for the animal foods, and you'll tolerate them. If you go straight into super strict, high fat, high protein, you're going to get aversion. It's very
So
satiating.
fast.
Yeah, so quickly.
It's gonna suck. Yeah. I'm so glad that I had raw dairy. Yes, I had mostly raw butter when I first went carnivore, but butter adds some intense variation in texture. If that is not enough variety for you to kill the nausea, you can rely on seafood. Again, seafood is a real lifesaver when it comes to relief from meat aversion. Sparkling water really helped me with my initial nausea. Cold sparkling water helped me cut that fat, greasy feeling. Laura, any tips? What helped you?
Yes, a variety of all the meats. Don't try to go into ribeyes and pork belly and stuff like that right away. You want to maybe go a little bit leaner in the beginning, as Bella mentioned, and sparkling water definitely. It does help relieve also, just as Bella said.
Totally. Okay. Lonnie, welcome. Hi, Bella. I was a vegan for 3 years, switched to keto this January. Now I'm slowly switching to carnivore. Sometimes in the evening, I crave butter. Is this okay as a snack after my dinner? Like all the ladies are nodding here. It is so okay. It is encouraged. It is encouraged. Do not feel shame when you crave for fat. If it's butter, eat the butter. If it's a fatty steak, eat the fatty steak. If it's raw cheese, eat the raw cheese. When you're a new carnivore, so when did she start? I'm slowly switching to carnivore. Good job. I love
January.
that you're slowly. Yeah,
It's
that's really
January.
good. Yeah, January is when she's keto, and now she's slowly doing carnivore. So that's great. There is this really awesome tip that Dr. Elizabeth Bright recommends. She calls it bedside butter. Has anyone here in the table tried bedside butter?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
In
When
the
we
early
first started,
days, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the early days, especially for hormone health and sleep, butter was my key. So I had butter at my side of my bed, and I would just kind of wake up so I wouldn't be turning any lights on or anything like that, waking myself
Yeah.
up, have my butter, and go right back to sleep. And it did help.
Amazing. Yeah. The point of bedside butter, for those who don't know, is to
It
help
also gives
you
butter boobs, just saying.
butter. Yeah, we'll talk about that next. I like that. For bedside butter, it helps you fall asleep. So for those, okay, firstly, for our new carnivores, if you're feeling a fluctuation in sleep, I see a lot of comments that blow this up as if carnivore is a terrible diet because of this. If you're having fluctuations in your sleep, this is not the end of the world. You are still adapting. So we see fluctuations in sleep quality, sleep lengths, sleep patterns, sleep habits as you adapt to a carnivore diet. How long does adaptation take? Anywhere from 30 to 90 days. That's why we really want you guys to make it to the 90-day mark with consistency. When I say with consistency, I mean no cheat days. I know that it's hard. It is hard. None of this is easy. Doing a new lifestyle, a new diet, a new way of living is very difficult. So, 90 days of consistency. Throughout those 90 days, you might have fluctuations in sleep. That's where Dr. Bright's bedside butter is life saving. So, let's say you wake up in the middle of the night to pee and you have trouble falling back asleep in the middle of the night. That's where bedside butter helps you calm down, lower that cortisol, and put you back to sleep. Highly recommend that. So, eat the butter, Lonnie. That's our answer. Butter boobs. Do you want to talk about it, Laura?
Well, since I'm 70, just imagine, ladies, where those girls usually are when you're 70. If you take that butter, yeah, Bella's laughing. She doesn't no clue yet because she's so young. When you are intaking that much butter, it does make the girls look perkier, I have to say. And you may actually get a nice rounder tush too, as well. So that was a big joke when we began. Poor Todd. Sorry, Todd. When we began, there were a bunch of us, and in January of 2022, and we all it just kind of became a catchphrase because that's around the time high fat carnivore. Maybe that's when Elizabeth Bright came on the scene and was saying, yes, eat the butter, eat the butter. And instead of just having high fat meat, it was like, no, add more butter, add more butter. And anyway, butter boobs and butter butt became the catchphrase because there was a whole bunch of us noticed or their husbands noticed that things were looking better than they used to.
And I'm going to say, I don't think Todd minds this conversation at all.
I don't. No, I was just thinking. I mean, carnivore did ruin it for me. I can't walk down the street in my booty shorts anymore because I just get catcalled. Can't do it.
Your booty shorts. Okay, I want to see those shorts when I get to Bozeman, Todd.
Hey, don't threaten me with a good time. I'll do it.
Oh my God.
So good.
I can't say it right now. I was going to say, we know make some things grow, right, Todd?
We do, for sure.
All right. If you want to know what we're referring to, go watch Todd's latest short posted today.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. It's so good. It's so good.
You will love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. TT, welcome. Any ideas on a pink Himalayan salt cutting board? Is it anything special? I don't know about this. Do you, Todd?
Oh, there's some of these salt boards out there that people cook stuff on, but I mean, no, I think it's silly, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't get the point of it at all. There's these salt encrusted videos where they smoke stuff and crust it in a case of salt, and I don't see the point in it. It's just a product to sell on a gimmick, in my personal opinion, I would spend the money on, well, honestly, I would spend the money on several small, cheap bamboo cutting boards and maybe one or two good ones. But the problem with the really good ones, the hardwood ones, is they weigh a ton and they're hard to clean because they usually don't fit in your sink very well. And so just get the little cheapos that you can throw away after 6 months that are only $10. That's the ones I end up using the most, to be honest with you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to know what everyone uses in the chat. Comment it, share what your favorite cutting board is. What do you use to cut tons of meat? Share your ideas and what you recommend. Here to here, welcome. What brand of butter do you buy? I personally buy Vital Farms. I buy Raw Farm only in California, though. If you live in California, that's the best. I buy Truly Grass Fed. And I recently found a new website, or it's not a new website, but I recently found it. It's called Miller's Bio Farm. And I know these two ladies tried it at Tennessee Meat Stock. They had a vendor. Oh, yeah. Of Miller's Bio Farm, and guess what? Everything is raw. Everything is raw, unpasteurized, and they ship to all states. So I just got 2 huge boxes of their stuff, and I got a ton of their raw butter. It is one of the best butters I have ever tasted in my life. I highly recommend raw butter when you can get some. And this website makes it possible because they ship everywhere in the States. So I'll make sure to link it, actually. I'm going to go get it. Let's do the next one. Team, if you guys don't mind helping with this while I go get the butter.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I still get heartburn when I lay down, or it'll wake me up out of a deep sleep. Been carnivore since the beginning of the year. Any suggestions? You ladies that want to go first?
I haven't had any issues with heartburn. Yeah. Unless I don't know if she's drinking any type of seltzer water, because seltzer water, I know for myself, can have a little bit of that issue if I drink it at night and then I go to sleep, maybe an hour or so later. But other than that, I've never had any issues with heartburn on carnivore at all.
I gotcha. Yeah.
And
so
I drink it every night, seltzer water. That's when I have my bottle, is after I have dinner, and I have no problem with it. And it happens. So sorry, I don't have anything to offer.
When you say heartburn, are you bringing up acid in your throat, or is it just in your stomach that you're getting heartburn? That'd be curious to know that. My nephew had GERD, and so that's when the sphincter in your throat, or somewhere between your throat and your stomach, doesn't close, and it lets acid come out of your stomach when you lay down. And he had that, and it took like 7 months for that to heal up, but it does heal. But it's a gut problem, and the absolute best thing you can do for your gut problems is eat high fat, like 2-to-1 fat to protein. That fat will heal up your gut, and then that healed gut will heal up your sphincters usually in your throat, so you stop backing up acid when you lay down.
I think that's the best tip for sure, is slowly work your way up to a high fat diet. It's so healing for the gut. My 6-year vegan wrecked gut was totally healed with just a high fat carnivore diet. It also takes time. So time, patience, high fat carnivore for sure. Okay, let me just show you guys real quick this butter that I got. So I don't know if you can tell with this lighting, but it's this deep golden color. Mm-hmm. It is just a stunning color. The taste, unreal. So deep and flavorful. The butter that they're offering now is called spring butter. Do you know anything about that, Todd? Spring raw butter?
No, I mean, the Hooterites here, they have something called spring butter. I didn't really know what it is, but I suppose that's the harvest of the butter, right?
Yeah. The timing. So apparently during spring, when they label it spring butter, it is the most nutrient dense and rich in color. I think based on the seasons, this is the best time to get their butter. And yeah, it's delicious. I linked it down below. I also put it in the live chat if you guys are interested.
That's awesome. I wonder if that's due to the feed that they're having that time of year. You know what I mean?
I think maybe the grass or whatever they're eating is the freshest and the ripest and the most nutrient dense leading up to spring, so that when you get their butter, it reflects.
Yeah. So.
I was just reading somewhere about how, depending on the time of the year and what the cows are eating, so if it is really green, fresh new grass, it's going to have a whole different nutrient density and nutrient profile. And then as the year goes on, the grass gets drier, and then it actually can to somewhat change the flavor of it all too, because they're eating a drier
For sure.
grass. So I just read that somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, and I know that that's true for sure. Like when you get deer or antelope in Montana, if you get it where in eastern Montana where it's dry and they're eating dry sage, they taste terrible. When you get it western Montana in the sweet grass area, they're delicious. And so they definitely taste like what they eat. So.
Oh, somebody commented in the chat too, Bill. It's the kind of grass each season that changes the taste of the butter. So
yeah,
awesome.
We're on the right track.
It's so good. I've just been snacking on it. For anyone who's new here, you don't know how to eat butter, eat it like this. Watch.
for 2 reasons, because it's easy and it's awesome, but also because it drives everybody insane that doesn't know about carnivore.
And ladies, it's so freeing to pick up that stick of butter and peel that wrapper down and just take a hunk. It's like you have been let loose, let me tell you.
It is empowering for sure. I love it.
When the dudes see it, they're thinking that's wife material. For sure.
Really? Oh, what a compliment. There you go, ladies. There you go. Rhonda, allulose sweetener. Is this okay to use? Who here has used allulose?
I've used allulose.
Okay, experiences.
But I think it's important to know where they are on their journey. If you're just starting out, I would not recommend any sugars, honey whatsoever in the beginning, because your whole goal is to get your body fat adapted and to get rid of the sugar cravings, and that could just add to it. Now, like Todd said earlier, if you're a ways down the way and you want to try to add something back in and you use allulose and it doesn't affect you and it doesn't stir up those cravings, then I think you could be okay. It is the safer of the sweeteners, but it still can be really, really sweet and really, really addicting because it is still a sweetener.
I'd love to add to that. That was a beautiful explanation, Melanie. Allulose, you don't know how it works or how it does with your journey, your health goals, your weight loss goals until you try it, right? But here's something that I do want to warn new carnivores. Don't play with the sweeteners until you have reached that 90-day magical mark. Why? Because we see it way too many times in the community, outside the community. I just see way too many new carnivores. They think they're invincible. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm already starting to feel amazing with a carnivore diet. Let's play around with desserts. Let's play around with the sweeteners. And then it sends them back into that hole of being addicted to sugar. Maybe they fall off track completely, or they just stay addicted to the sweeteners. And it is preventing them from reaching their healing and weight loss goals. I think it's great if also you're a moderator. If you're an abstainer, you might not be able to ever have sweeteners. Okay. So don't lose hope though. If you're interested to experiment, do it. Laura, go ahead.
I just wanted to say allulose and monk fruit and all the other low glycemic, better for you sweeteners are what actually brought me to SBG and to carnivore. Because I was doing ketovore originally and I was making, and not a ton of treats, but it was around the holidays and I was making myself a keto treat for each of the major 3 holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And that's what I've never had sugar work on the addiction center of my brain like those sweeteners did. The low glycemic, good for you sweeteners did. So caveat is be very careful if you decide to try them. But as Bella suggested, get your 90 days in, get your body nourished, get yourself set. And then if you want to see if you can handle that kind of a thing. But I know so many people over the last 3.5 years that are still stuck. Who started around the same time that I did. And one of the reasons they're still stuck and haven't gotten where they want to be is because they have never gotten rid of those artificial sweeteners. So
we see it a lot. We see it. Is it the case for every single person who plays with this? No, but you won't know. And if you're scared of it, if you think it might send you back into being addicted to sweet tasting things, just be mindful of that. Be mindful and lean on a community. Look, I'm already saying this. Faithivore says, Bella, that was me and I've regretted it since. We don't want you to be like Faithivore, But I highly recommend you join our community. If you need something to get you back on track, it's very possible. There's no such thing as failing, having to start over when you fall off. There's just no such thing. We're here to support each other. And it's starting June 3rd. Okay. So the 90-day transformation challenge, if you need the support, we can't wait to meet you. And it starts June 3rd. All right, let's keep going. Can the carnivore lifestyle help with ulcers?
Oh,
yes
absolutely.
or no? Yeah. I hear testimonials about it helping with ulcers all the time. Has it helped with you, Melanie?
I don't have ulcers, but I just know that it's it's our gut biome that controls everything. So, and carnivore is the number one way of eating to help any stomach issues that you're having. So I'd say absolutely.
Beautiful. Anyone with ulcer healing stories, drop it in the chat, comment it. We love hearing all of your stories and your testimonials. And also, I want to say something real quick. I don't say it enough, but I'm very grateful for comment sections because when I was a newbie carnivore on Instagram, that's where I first started falling into the carnivore rabbit hole. I really leaned on comment sections to learn more about this lifestyle. You would be surprised how much you can learn from real carnivore accounts and real carnivores living this lifestyle by reading the comments. Maybe don't go to my viral posts, guys, because they're 99% haters. Don't go to those comment sections. Like maybe go to Todd's comment sections, Melanie's comment sections. Like really wholesome comment sections give you so much knowledge. Comment sections under these live streams are the best. Highly recommend. Okay. Elizabeth?
My comment sections aren't very
No?
wholesome, just so you know. I'm not gonna put that out there.
Mine neither, but I'm just saying. Enter at your own risk.
Yeah.
Enter at your own risk.
Maybe just stick to these live stream comment sections. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. I was just going to put that up for the
Alyssa.
ulcers.
Yeah, let me read this. So Alyssa, who's also on the team, also a Steak and Butter Gang member of many years, says, I used to get ulcers and I have not had a single one since I've been carnivore almost 2 years. That is incredible. There you go. Real life testimonial. Welcome, Elizabeth. What are your thoughts on allulose and it acting as a GLP-1? Could it cause edema, swelling like sucralose does? Do you want to start, Todd?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that I don't like about allulose. First of all, I don't think we have an allulose deficiency. I don't think that's our issue. And also, it keeps the sweet cravings alive. And then what I've noticed is, we get so used to this, but when you play with any of that super processed nonsense, it really does start blocking hunger signals. It starts to screw up your body signaling, and you can't tell when you're really hungry. You can't tell when your body, is trying to target a certain nutrient that you need, whether it be fat or whether it be protein or what it's looking for. It just starts throwing everything off. And so it's not worth it. But if you concentrate on healing the body, your GLP-1s, I believe, are going to be just fine. It might take some time, but it's going to be permanent. Otherwise, if you have all these crutches of these processed things that are manipulating signaling in your body, you're never going to be free and healthy, and you're never just going to be able to live. You're always going to be playing this chemistry with your body to try to keep it in line. And our body is, our natural systems and signaling is way better at doing that than we are from the outside. So just heal your body, give it what it needs, and don't play with any of the processed stuff. And I think you're way better off in the long run.
Totally agreed. And because I personally am an abstainer, and I know this through a lot of the approaches that I take with everything, honestly, not just food, because I'm an abstainer, I personally would never play around with allulose, even though a lot of people are rave reviewing about it. Anything that's sweet tasting, like very, very sweet tasting, I just don't want to play around with. Even 6 years into a carnivore diet, yes, I feel like I'm fully healed. I feel like I feel better than I ever have. Bringing in allulose is a slippery slope for me. And so if you can relate, maybe.
Can I just chime in too? That I am a moderator. Excuse me. I can, and often, I shouldn't say often, but at least once a year when I travel in Europe, I eat as carnivore as I can, but you can't always just have meat there. So because I'm on a biking trip and my food is being supplied and set up by that group. So I have had desserts there. I can have real sugar. a little bit, walk away and never think about it again. But I felt that
Awesome.
cellulose and all the other sweeteners that are in that category were so addictive. And real sugar had never done that to me. So what's in it that's worked so quickly, like I said, on the addictions of your brain,
Interesting.
that,
Yep.
so as Bella said, a very slippery slope. You're better off trying without it. And then if you really feel you have to have something sweet, have the real stuff later once your body is well fed and nourished, and you can successfully do this. And then if you had to have a little bit of something for a special occasion, have that little bit of real something.
Yeah, and it's just so interesting too with sugar and the sweet flavor. Sugar's more addictive than cocaine, but you don't hear people saying, I want to do this artificial cocaine supplement or artificial meth supplement to keep that taste alive so that I can have the flavor or have a certain feeling without having it, because it would just spiral. They don't do that with any other drug, but the problem we think that we can do it with sugar is because we won't just cop to the fact that sugar is one of the most addictive and dangerous drugs on the planet. In my opinion, it's killed more people than any other drug, and it's killed more people than any other disease.
It's just a dangerous thing to play with. It's really just playing with fire.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your life, your body, your diet. You can do whatever you want. Keep coming back to these live streams. We honestly learn from each other. Seriously. Ketovore, welcome. I'm craving something crunchy. How do you feel about a rib or two of celery? A rib or two of celery. Okay. With real peanut butter. I know it's not carnivore, but I am ketovore. Okay. So there we go. Ketovore people can have celery. They can have peanut butter. Peanut butter is a dangerous food, to be honest. Being a vegan, eating lots of oxalate-rich foods, peanut butter is extremely high in oxalates. I just got to hang out and meet Sally K. Norton in person in Tennessee at Meatstock 2025 just a few weeks ago. And just hearing her talk on stage, talking about all of her clients' horror stories, it really makes me understand just how dangerous oxalates are. You don't feel the danger of them until you stop eating them, by the way, because oxalate dumping happens. So maybe don't eat so much peanut butter. Instead, eat some real butter. Put some butter on that celery. Put some sour cream, some cream on that celery. What do you guys think? Celery with peanut butter.
Well, I would say get rid of the celery if they can and go to pork rinds and butter, which is delicious. And you get your crunchy and you get your fat and you're good to go.
Too easy. There you go. Best tip ever. Davia, welcome. I knew nothing about priming, just heard about it recently. Would you please speak on that a little bit? Thank you. So with priming, how about you define it, Todd?
Yeah, absolutely. So, priming is a way to test your, it's basically a way to test your appetite and test how healthy your metabolic system is by nourishing your body. And our signaling is all screwed up. If most of us came from standard American diet, our signaling is all screwed up. And we think, I'm just going to use me and so many people that I've seen in SBG now that come in and they say this thing. And now it's like a red flag as soon as they come in the door and they say, man, I can fast and do OMADs and not eat for 3 days standing on my head. And it doesn't even bother me. And I used to pride myself on that too, right? Because we're used to this restrictive mentality. And that's like our badge of honor to say that, we can go days without food and yet we can't lose weight. Well, and then it turns out you find out, well, that's because you have metabolic disease and your metabolism's in the toilet. And it's absolutely tanked. And if you have a high functioning metabolism, which is what we really want to lean out and burn body fat, you will have a hard time eating unless you're very, very primed, what we call, which is just nourished body, so that you don't have any nourishment deficits. But that's, that sounds easy to just eat. But unless you really challenge yourself and you do it on a schedule with a protocol like as an SBG, you're never going to know for yourself. And so SBG developed basically a calendar and a schedule so that you can test yourself like it's your job to heal your body with nourishment so that your signaling can heal and that you can get nourished and that you can bring up your metabolism, get rid of metabolic disease, and then you can finally function properly at a high functioning level. So you can get rid of this fat, and it's counterintuitive, but it's what made me lose 335 pounds so far, and it is incredible.
Amazing. It's what, yep, bravo. Best explanation. It's what brought back my period. It's what helped Laura feel amazing and lose 40 pounds. It's what helped Melanie get off. Well, Melanie, what did priming do for you?
Well, priming just nourished me and just really helped me lose the weight that I had been struggling after many injuries and laziness and so forth. I couldn't work out and do the stuff that I would normally do. So, and I was always in these yo-yo dieting, and I was really unnourished. I was not eating enough. Now, when I eat, I am never hungry. I never feel bloated. I don't have those yucky, sluggish feelings anymore at all. So, and it took away the sugar cravings. That was my other thing, because I was a candy sweetaholic.
Right. Yep. Exactly. If you're struggling with sugar cravings, nothing better than doing a prime. Okay. If you feel like your metabolism is tanked, nothing better than doing a prime. So just to define it for those who are not willing to join the challenge, which I totally get. Okay. You don't have to. To prime, it's 3 meals a day. For 2 weeks is the standard protocol that Coach Raymond created. But for a lot of people, you do need to troubleshoot and tweak. And it is Coach Raymond's program. He does teach it in the Steak and Butter Gang, and he is going to teach it for the 90-day transformation challenge for all of our new members. He literally will give you weekly calendars and guides to follow. So it's not just this ominous, arbitrary thing. He gives you calendars to follow. And he has level 1, level 2, level 3. He takes you all the way into advanced fasting for anyone who is interested. Okay. And to join the challenge, just click the link down below. Okay. Thank you.
And I disagree with Bella. I think you do have to join. And I'm going to say that because I did this for the first 9.5 months on my own. And it was, looking back at it, and I just keep referencing this, it was so stupid because I wasted 9.5 months. Also, I was doing it on YouTube. You know how many stupid supplements and electrolyte powders I bought? I spent $1,200. I could have paid a lifetime of SBG fees, and I don't get paid to say this. I donate my time at SBG because I really believe in it. But the fact of the matter is, you will save money. It's less than whatever your junk food snack is that you eat every day, whether it's a candy bar or one single soda. It's less than that a day, and you will get off all that crap. You will get off your medication that you're spending money on. You'll stop spinning your wheels. You'll stop going backwards. You'll stop doing dumb things like restricting and putting your metabolism in the tank and going backwards for 9 months at a time. And you'll stop being reactive to every negative thing that produces itself or comes to the surface when you're on carnivore, because you go through so much stuff that has negative symptoms to it. And then you get reactive because you think you're screwing up because you don't have a path or a direction to go in. So you start doing reactive things that just takes you off the trail, and it slows you down so much you go backwards. I think you do need a good carnivore community, and I think this one's the best. But get in one of them so that people that know what oxalate dumping and detoxing's like, and know how to spot when you're under eating fat, or there's so many things to it. And it's just so handy, and you're going to save so much time. Everybody's in a hurry to lose weight, and they're willing to starve themselves and tank their metabolism, but they're not willing to join a community that costs half as much as, or 10% of what the coffee you drink every day is. I mean, it's silliness.
You're the best, Todd. Thank you for that. Literally, I have the best team in the world. Seriously. And I feel very grateful that I get to share them with you guys in these weekly live streams. Anyone who is new here, I know we'll have a lot of new carnivores watching because of the title. Just so you know, we have these Friday night live streams that are free to enjoy, that are free to ask questions every single Friday night. Okay? So stay tuned. Come back every week. Put it in your calendar. Dashcam, thank you so much. I want to thank Bella for her channel. Wow, thank you. I'm 21 days into carnivore, down from 205 pounds to 189 pounds. That's incredible. Congratulations. And steady energy and calmer spirit. I love butter. Oh my gosh, let me eat a bite of butter to celebrate. Oh my God.
I'm jealous.
Butter shots. Who would have saw it coming?
Oh, I love it. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Congrats. All right. We already did this. Lillian,
hold
welcome.
on. Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
Wow. Thank you, Jeff. SBG is super friendly and very supportive. So glad I joined. Do it. Thank you so much, Jeff. You're so sweet. We appreciate you. We're glad you're in the family. All right. Lillian, I love the idea of priming, but my life schedule dictates that I maintain 3 meals every day. Okay. If I want to lose weight, do I just eat a little than what is described for priming? I feel like this is trying to take the shortcut, not necessarily the best way to go about it. With priming, okay, priming is not so much about losing weight. In fact, Coach Raymond, who teaches priming, by the way, I don't want to misquote him, but he does say priming is not so much about losing weight just yet. If you want the body recomposition, the fat loss, and the weight loss, you have to first do the priming seriously so that you prime your body up, get those nutrients in, and whatever you do after with Raymond, whether it be the fasting, whether it be doing some lion diet experimenting, cutting out the dairy, whatever it is, he helps you through it. The weight loss is not going to happen in priming for most people. What do you think, Laura?
Well, first of all, the priming is it's not something you're doing forever. It's on average about 2 weeks at the beginning of the very first calendar. And then you start easing back on what you're eating. And it's 3 meals a day plus 2 snacks until you're comfortably stuffed. And you're doing that for about 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks. And then you're going to hit a point where you just can't eat anymore. You can't eat that way. And that's when the calendar takes you into intermittent fasting windows, and then into alternate day fasting, and then into 48. But it's this whole calendar process you follow. So first of all, don't get the idea that you're going to be stuck in this eating frenzy for too long, because you really aren't going to be. Sometimes, and then between some of the different fasting protocols, you have what they call a mini prime, or they call it returning to home base, but it's basically a mini prime. But again, you're approaching everything from a very nourished state, and that's why it works, and that's why it's successful. And if you have cravings, if you have sugar cravings or cravings for certain things, it's going to take care of it because you are so well nourished. So let me go back down. If I want to lose weight, all right. Again, remember what it took to get here. How many years of eating the wrong things to get here? You will lose. It may take you a year. It may take you 6 months. It may take you 2 weeks. Every body is different. And it depends on how nourished your particular body and situation needs to become before your body finally realizes it's safe to let that weight come off. Do I just eat a little less? I'm assuming it was supposed to be, do I eat a little less than what is described for priming? So again, if you follow the process of what they're showing and trust that process, you will see success. I guess that's the best way I can put it.
Beautifully put. Beautifully put. Yeah. It gives a lot of hope when you ladies talk about it with your own experience. Again, this is Coach Raymond's protocol, and he really does such a great job in his weekly calls, helping all of the members out, providing the troubleshooting needed. Okay. Steve, welcome and thank you. So Steve is down over 40 pounds. He's day 51 on keto carnivore. He does intermittent fasting and 24 to 48 hour fast. Well, look at you. That's amazing. Congratulations, Steve, on the weight loss. Bravo. All right. Oh, we are at the hour, Todd and ladies. Do you guys want to go over a little bit? Because I see tonight is quite active.
I'm good. I'm good today.
Five minutes or so.
Okay. Thank you, Melanie. Appreciate that. All right. Let's keep going. We'll just do rapid fire, one person each question. Austin, welcome. I have no gallbladder. I was recommended a low-fat diet. Is this diet okay for me? Oof, please do not do a low-fat diet. Speaking from someone who was on a low-fat vegan diet for 6 years. Austin, I don't know if you're female or male. It doesn't matter. If you eat a low-fat diet, you're going to tank your metabolism. You're also going to tank your
Female,
your
I'm
hormones.
pretty sure.
Female? Okay. Hormones,
think so.
protect those hormones. If you're a woman, you need fat. Please do not go low fat. If you have no gallbladder, okay, we have lots of new carnivores coming in, experienced carnivores thriving with no gallbladder. How do they do it? Smaller meals throughout the day is the way to do the high fat carnivore. Smaller meals throughout the day. Do not eat melted rendered fats like I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream, and stick to cold solid fats. Even better if you can get raw fat. There's something so magical about raw fat. And I linked this one right here, the Miller's Biofarm raw fats, in the description box if you guys want a good source. Elizabeth, have you tried the Dr. Boss Sardine Challenge? Anyone here tried the Dr. Boss Sardine Challenge?
Yep.
Okay, why don't you do this? Yeah. I lost 9 pounds of inflammation from lipedema after 1.5 days, much to my surprise. I'm lucky that I love the taste. Any thoughts, Laura?
Yeah, I wasn't sure that I would care for sardines, although I eat tuna fish and every other kind of fish. But there is something oddly amazing about those sardines. I did the challenge. I lost, I don't know, like 7 pounds or something within the window that I did it. And I just broke them up. And once I broke them up, they smelled and tasted like tuna fish. So it worked. And I periodically will go back to them, and I'll every now and then I get into a phase where I can't look at a can of sardines for 6 months again. But they're amazing if you do put some butter in a pan and brown the butter, and then put the sardines in there and flip them around so they get crispy. That's a great way to do them. Something about eggs and sardines together, if you haven't tried that, that's amazing together. It's something about the combination of it. So it's a great reset. And I got better ketones. This is before I really got into longer fasting. I got better ketone results on a sardine fast than I ever did on a water fast. So something, again, magical, as they say. Dr. Lisa Wiedemann will always say there's something magical about those little fishies. And then Dr. Boss is the same thing. So it's a great reset for your body. If you haven't tried it, give it a try.
Love it. That's so cool. Yeah. Stacy,
Melanie's like, no way.
Yeah. If it doesn't work for you, just do a water fast. Yeah. Stacy says, I'm a gastric bypass survivor. Highest weight 297, lowest 97. Currently 172. Will carnivore work for me? I am 62. Todd, do you want to take this?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely will. So Lindy had gastric lap band. My sister had gastric lap band, and my mom has gastric bypass. And it's the number one thing that you should be doing, especially if you have gastric bypass. You know that they, they send you home with protein powders, and that's the number one thing that you're supposed to be eating, which is nonsense. But they know how important it is to get protein and how little that you're going to absorb. And the absolute best thing you can do, and what you need to do now, is not waste any room in that stomach of yours with anything that is not super nutrient dense. And the most nutrient dense food you can eat is carnivore food, specifically ruminant animals and high fat ruminant animals. That's what you should prioritize. If it was me and I was in your shoes, I would do nothing but that. And I'm speaking with experience on this because my mom has gastric bypass, and she also has Parkinson's, and I'm trying, she's only been on carnivore a little while here, and I'm trying to keep her weight up because Parkinson's is really easy to lose all your muscle. And so I'm fighting the same thing with her, though. If you want to have a good shot at staying as healthy as you absolutely can, you cannot afford to waste any of that room in your stomach on anything but, ruminant meat, high fat, and maybe a little bit of organ meat, in your case, because you really need the nutrients because you're having a hard time absorbing it. So
listen to Todd. Definitely agree. Okay, let's keep going. Let's really do rapid fire here. I know we have a lot of new challenge members as well. By the way, if you're in the 90-day challenge, we start June 3rd. So if you aren't in, make sure you join before June 3rd, or else you will miss the most exciting time, which is kickoff day. But stay patient. June 3rd, we will explain everything to do with how the cash prizes will be given away, what exactly you guys should focus on, everything that it takes to succeed. June 3rd. Show up on June 3rd, please. Okay, Jeff. Where are all you celebrities staying? Okay, firstly, what celebrities?
Yeah, like who's this? Who's
Just
Jack
regular
talking to?
people.
Who's the
Who-
celebrity?
Oh, maybe he means this. All of these faces up here. Yes,
Those guys.
they are my idols. I love them. Where are we staying, Todd? Airbnb.
We're staying
Bozeman.
in Bozeman in an undisclosed location, so we don't get any streakers or something crazy. But yeah, for sure. But you will see us very shortly. We are finally wrapping up. Now that we have a good idea of the attendance, we're wrapping up the location,
Yay.
and so that'll
Yeah.
be available here shortly. But yeah, all of these people, I met them all. Well, except for Carnivore Ray, that'll be my first time meeting Carnivore Ray. But I've met everybody else, and very normal people. And celebrities is 4-letter word here where we're from, and we banished them up to the Yellowstone Club so they don't have to get any of it on us. So
Nice. That's great. I also want to say we didn't really start sharing about the Montana meetup everywhere until a couple days ago. And so tickets are selling fast. And Todd, you do want to keep it a bit more intimate. So
yeah,
I would get
Yeah.
that ticket soon.
yeah, for sure. And they are flying now that we're down to the wire. So I'd assume that we're only going to have, another maybe week or so of ticket sales, or at least on 2 of the events. So definitely hop in there and get them wrapped up, because we are going to be cutting it off now that we're getting down to the wire, and we have to finalize the amount of food and location and everything. So yeah, definitely get in there and get it fast. So
yeah, linked down below, guys. Okay, rapid fire. I'm just going to do 5 more and we're going to wrap up for tonight, and we'll see you next week. June 3rd. What do we eat on the first day of the challenge? I'm month 2 of the 90-day challenge. Okay, June 3rd. Before June 3rd kickoff day, I'll be handing out meal plans and shopping lists for anyone who is super organized and perfectionist and they want to get a head start. Don't worry, it'll be posted. You'll be notified in the Steak and Butter Gang community. And I'll give you guys everything that you can eat, what I recommend that you guys go shop for and eat and plan out, meal plan, all of it. So just stay tuned. Tom, I like guns like that. Oh, yeah, she's talking about Laura and Melanie's guns, the arms. I'm restricted on how much weight I can lift due to aneurysm. What can I do for muscle tone, Laura?
Okay, can I recommend this to you? It's called the Slow Burn, the Slow Burn Revolution, Slow Burn Weight Revolution. Fred Hahn, H-A-H-N.
Yes.
He is the man who developed Slow Burn. It's what I use pretty much all the time. And you don't have to lift. To begin with, you're going to lift to failure. You're only doing 1 set. If that means that failure is 10 pounds lifted very slowly and your reps are 3, you're done. You walk away.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
really does work. I showed you my arms. And again, I'm 70 years old. I've been doing slow burn for about 2.5 years. The definition that I have in these arms at my age is because I'm doing slow burn. You can build your weights, but if you can't lift real heavy, you can still attain good toning and muscle structure by using this method. I believe you would do very well with it.
I love it. Great tip. Fantastic. Linda, I'm a new carnivore stuck at 5-pound weight loss. Been doing keto carnivore for 6 weeks, I believe, but it's not working. How do I get unstuck? We're going to sound like broken records here, but you need to prime. Okay. Priming gets you unstuck. Priming literally heals you inside out. And some of us, actually most of us, need to heal inside out first before the body feels safe to let go of all that fat and the inflammation and the water weight. So highly recommend priming. Do I really need to stick to grass fed? Todd?
no, not at all. I think there's a marginal difference that it can make, but not at all. You are 99.9% the way there just with grain fed, and you are miles ahead just by not eating the standard American diet and focusing on that, on what your body needs. I mean, that is the beauty of ruminant animals, is that they are so forgiving with the ruminant stomach that they can filter out all that nonsense. It makes a very marginal difference in my opinion.
Perfect. Love it. How do you judge how many grams of protein a day do you need on carnivore? We don't love tracking, at least not in this team. We don't love tracking because it literally turns you away from listening to your body. So why would we not listen to our body and instead use an app or a food scale or any scale to track our food? Um, Okay, if you're scared of under eating, again, priming 3 meals a day will really make sure that you don't under eat. Another thing that I hear a lot is try to eat the number of grams of your goal weight. But then this is where it gets tricky. I ate double my goal weight to heal when I
Me
first
too.
went carnivore. Yes. So if I were to have listened to that ominous statement, I would not have healed. I would not have brought back my period. I don't think I would have stuck to it for 6 years. So eat as much as you want. If you're scared of under eating, 3 meals a day, please. Daniel says, Todd, did you step on it? What does that mean?
We'll never know.
Hey, he gets an extra clap for watching Todd's Instagram post.
I
Yeah.
see now. I see
Yes.
Oh yeah.
now. You have to watch
Bella,
that.
come on.
Okay, I get it.
As soon as I read it, I'm like, oh, he went and watched Todd's video.
Yeah.
You ladies.
Hey,
Okay.
we're on it. We're on it. Like, quick.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right.
Thank you, Daniel, for a good laugh.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. Good job,
Awesome.
Daniel. Good job. Extra credit. All right, that's all we have time for tonight. Let's wrap up with final announcements. Montana meetup July 4th. If you just came in late, this is the one to show up to. These in-person meetups are seriously amazing, and I get to meet so many of you guys who support me, who watch my videos, who watch all of these people's videos. We really love meeting you in person. And what's so powerful is getting to hear your stories and testimonials in person. Comment sections are great, but to talk to you, give you a hug, listen to your story, help you troubleshoot in person is magical. And that's my favorite thing about these in-person meetups is the connections. Todd, what are you excited about real quick about this SBG meetup?
Oh yeah, the local community. Every time I go to one of these in different towns across the country, what's fun is to watch immediately a local community forge there, because people's but naturally what's going to happen is a lot of people that are very close in our area are going to exchange numbers and socials, and it creates
happens every time. Yeah.
every single time, and it creates these groups, and then that's good because those local groups end up putting little carnivore cells together in their area, and then they support the ranchers and they share information. And then, I mean, it's just huge. This is how we're going to fix this. And this is how we're going to fight the misinformation about, meat and fat, and how we're going to help support our ranchers. So it's very important.
Absolutely. I love how Carrie says a healing humanity, it starts with us. It starts with this community right here, the carnivore community. That's how we're going to heal humanity. Okay, so SBG.events linked down below in the description box. I will stop share. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next Friday.
See you next
Good
Friday.
night.
Love you.